Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. The next Wasteless Word Talks are here with Karzum, Bill, Kevin, and myself. We will write on the back of language. And today I selected a very simple word, drum, or drums. And because, Kevin, you are on the top of my screen, I will ask you first. If you close your eyes and you hear the term drum, what came first to your mind, please?
Yeah, well, living in Europe these days, there's only one thing that can come to mind, and that is drum beat. As Europe beats the drums of war to get us all into the mood to go and fight the Russians. So it's a very, very seriously bad time to be in Europe at the moment.
Bill, the same question for you. What came to your mind, please?
I think, excuse me, I think the genesis of the thought is the same as Kevin's, but I thought of drumming up more business. And where does that come from? I have to think it's the drums of war that tell the soldiers what to do and where to go years ago. And so drumming up more business, I think, means rallying the troops to go get more business, but related to what Kevin said.
Do you think that a drum can lie?
The human being that is beating the drum can lie.
You know, on the noon discussion, there was quite several interesting points. One of them, that Tracy, which is from the US, she said, I was a drummer in the school. So we have a drummer in the discussion. And then Usi, who lives in Tanzania, he says one very interesting point. He said, drum is the power of touch because it sounds when you touch it. So it connects a device and a man. So, but regarding the lie, Tracy says something very interesting. She said, you know, it's easy for a singer to be not exact or a guitarist or so, but a drummer, he must be accurate because he is heard every time. And that's interesting point of view.
And if he is, if not accurate, back to Kevin's opening comments, if he's not accurate, the soldiers will go in the wrong direction, or they'll fire when they should not fire, or all sorts of bad things.
You know, there was one more information that the drums are usually not used to express sadness, but happiness if there is a walk or direction. And Leslie says something very interesting. She said, drums are way of communication. It's a language.
It is. So drum can be a verb. I will drum the troops along. It can be a noun, the object of the actual instrument. But I wonder what the opposite of drum is.
Yeah, that's really interesting.
I don't know the opposite of drum, but I know the drumming, I will say silence. Not sure, but in the noon, we came quite to interesting. Charito says that I am a drum myself because I'm drumming for Wasteless Word and I am heard. And she said the drum works well, stands alone, but it works even better if there is an orchestra.
Yeah.
Together. And I think coming back to your first point, Kevin, can we turn the drums against those who would like to send us in the war?
We're going to have to. We have no choice.
Exactly.
I was thinking in the Danish state broadcaster, even though it's TV, radio and internet is still called Denmark's radio. It's a really old-fashioned organization. And in the radio division, they have three kinds of music. They have classical music, which is their primary source. Then there's jazz, which is their secondary. And then all the modern riff-raff, they call it rhythmic music. And I don't think it's meant as a compliment.
You know,
Yes. I was just
Bill,
sorry.
Bill.
What? Yeah. A minute ago we were talking about a drum, and if you have many drums, and suddenly the picture came to my mind of 120 drummers in different countries, all drumming. The Giants would not be able to communicate or hear anything else but the drums.
That's interesting. I remember myself, I was on a concert of Japanese drummers. I don't know whether you have seen, they have this huge, really huge drums of 2 meters of diameter, and it was really, really powerful. The sound was unbelievable. And still, it was not something which I will say it damaged my ears, which can be some of the music. It was so interesting. So you feel the vibration. Generally, drum deliver vibrations. Sound is vibration. And I think your idea is quite interesting, Bill, because if we start drumming, we will stop hearing anything else. And when I was asking my colleague downstairs about the term drums or buben in Czech, the first word she came, and I don't think it is in other languages. In Czech, when a woman is pregnant, we can say she has a drum. That's the way how we say it.
Is that because of the shape? Is that because of the shape?
Because
but
of
it also
belly, yeah.
But it could also mean that there is an announcement coming. There is going no.
not in Czech Republic, not in Czech Republic. So it's just the shape. But at the second, she said she remembers here time to time so street performances, and it's organized by the city, so it's let's call it legal and so on. And she said she was last year on the drummers, which says in a circle, and as a visitor you can go there, and it was all the time the same melody on the drum. And she said it was the biggest crowd over there. And it was so interesting to listen, even if it was permanently the same melody. It somehow attracts the people.
Yes.
No, sorry, Bill.
Bill.
I'm sorry. To follow on to that comment, yes, when I listen to drummers, it's hypnotizing. You cannot think of something else while you are listening to a good drummer.
Kevin?
That's exactly what I was going to say. I was in West Berlin in the early 80s, and Sunday afternoon by the Europa Center, and there was this drumming, and it sounded more like a machine. It was like some deep, huge machine, boom, 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 giving this beat, and it was irresistible. So I had to go and see it, and there was a huge crowd. When I got there, it was just two girls. Two girls. They must have been studying music at one of the conservatories. They were just incredible. The noise they could make with those drums it just drew in everybody. No one could resist this noise. It was fantastic.
How can we silence the war drums? Can we silence the war drums? Or do we have to overbeat them with other drums?
Yeah, we have to drown them out with other noise. Because otherwise the drumbeat war is irresistible.
And if you have a standard drum, there is a layer which is making the noise in combination with the body. If you release the top layer, then it loses its sound generally. So is it something or should it, maybe should this be the way how we, or you can make holes in the body generally, because then it's even spread and it has completely different sound. So the question is, I have seen right now the politicians, and exactly as you said, so it's really war drums are so beating everywhere.
I think we have to talk to each other, like that program in Washington State where they're talking to ordinary Russians, getting normal Americans to talk to normal Russians so they can understand each other. We must talk to each other. That's the only way to stop the drumbeat.
Yes.
It's interesting. I have asked Nupur, she's from India and she's mother, if she remembers the first time she heard the beat of her child. And the heart inside, it's something like a drum generally. It has all the time the same rhythm, or it should have, and it is so. So I do remember myself the drums of my daughter's heart when I hear it for the first time at the doctor. So it was very, very impressive.
So you're making a comparison between the heartbeat and the drum beat.
Yes.
And the drum beat, which we have said is mesmerizing, it collects the troops to march forward. The heartbeat, just the opposite.
Heart is beating stronger when there is a fear in the room or happiness. It beats
That's true.
faster, let's say. Maybe not stronger, but faster. And you can stop it with sound. You just put the opposite frequency and you stop the heart beating. Generally, when I learned in martial arts, you need 3 strokes to stop heart beating, just 3. So I think that with the drum can be similar. I don't think, as you said, we need to talk. It is so simple, so simple. But right now we are more and more dependent on the electronic drums of internet and social media and everything, which are as well so simple to be influenced. You know my the Wasteless Word story blog, 1,400 chapters, 11 years. They stop me. They generally take me out of the internet right now.
Really?
Because they said I did something wrong. I replied almost immediately. And their reply was, you commented on other stories the inappropriate way because you shared links. Of course that I share links because all the stories I commented has been about Industry 5.0 and they has been misleading. I never say something wrong to the people. I just say, okay, just check this if you agree. And they take me down. I have all the stories saved, but still it's not accessible. And I just realized how easy it is really to let the drums beat, the wall drums beat over the social media and everywhere, because it is not in our hands. In our hands is the fact that we can switch it off.
Also in our hands is what we can do in our part of the world. That is, with my friends, with my family, with those that I come in contact with, I can change that. I can touch that.
You know, Donald Trump, when he came in the office for a second time, he established this DOG, or how it's called, Department for Savings, or for preventing waste to happen, we can say. Have you seen what the news connected to the end to US aid? 500 metric tons of food, or this long-term or long-shelf food, will be burned. Today was announced that 10 million anti-conception, so interception pills and similar stuff will be burned. And there has been offers to be from buyers to buy it. No, it will be burned. So it looks like that the wasting, the drumming, in a way, to waste become really the new policy. But very interesting. Have you seen the proclamation or the article about the steps of the Chinese president? That was very interesting. A few days ago, it showed up in this communist media and so on. He said publicly that the overinvestment in artificial intelligence, electric cars, and similar has to be, let's say, considered as a bad thing. And he would like to go a different way. And it is very interesting because China is based on overproduction of everything. And so I start to prepare a letter for him. So it's almost finished, but I'm not sure if he will read it. I don't think so. But still, even if we are small drums, I think the small drums can make the bigger drums resonate.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And to go back to your comment earlier about originally the new American department called DOGE was supposedly to root out waste in the government, and that is such a lie. That was never the reason for it.
That's
It
true.
was just like giants do every place. They put up a front, they give an explanation, and most of the time it is to camouflage the real reason, or to distract people so they'll talk about something else besides what is really happening. And it's so effective. It's like when the drums of war start beating, you can't think about other things because your head is full of the boom, 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 and you look around and there's part of your army is to your left and part of your army is to your right, and you are one. You are a part of the army, and to say, oh no, I don't want to be a part of this, right? It's very difficult to do that when the drums are beating. So I'm concerned at this time, exactly like you, Kevin. It's so hard uh, to uh, to not follow the drums.
I remember reading this story about Germany in the 1920s. Germans during that time were listening to a lot of martial music and classical music. Then along came this thing from America called jazz. And this was such a shock to the German system and to German order because it wasn't on the beat, it was off beat. It was doing everything the wrong way around. And the Germans didn't call it jazz, they called it Schlager music, which literally means slanted music. And I think it's so fantastic. And the only way to break the beat of the drum of war is to make Schlager music, is to make jazz. It's to disrupt their beat with an offbeat.
I like that. And how might we make an offbeat or a slanted beat?
Yeah, we have to disrupt somehow or other, disrupt their rhythm.
Well, one way that I read the other night is they want to be taken seriously and believed. And when we laugh at them, this is with the whole thing about firing the comedian on television, Colbert, and the reason he is so feared because the Giants feel as though he's making everybody laugh at the Giants, and they can't stand to be laughed at.
No.
And maybe this is the slanted beat that will disrupt them.
You know, I just saw recently that the late night show in the US, one of the most, I don't know who is the host, but the famous host it by CBS. I'm not sure. It doesn't matter. It gets cancelled in April. It should end. It has the highest ratings and so on. But he speak a lot of against Donald Trump and so on. So he gets off. The interesting part, he says, okay, I do acknowledge that you pay me, but right now I take my gloves off. And it was so interesting. And he did in some way. I even put him as a part of the newsletter because it was so interesting. And if we speak about the music, I do something which we never did before. I will put some music, okay? I hope it will be not too loud. And that's a metal group. It's called Manover. I don't know if you know that. And I will put a piece of their one of their song.
Story.
Do you hear it?
Go and get your story.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, not one of those. A real story.
A real story.
Yes. Tell me about when you were a boy.
Well then, I shall have to take you back with me a long way in time. It was my 13th year on a cold winter's day. As I walked through the enchanted forest, I heard the sound of horses and men-at-arms. I felt compelled to walk on and find the place of these sounds. When the forest did clear, I was standing on a hill. Before me was a great plain. Upon it, the armies of the world standing, waiting. I thought to myself, for whom or for what are they waiting? Suddenly, a gust of wind came up from the north. There appeared a lone rider holding a sword of steel. Then from the south came another, bearing a battle axe. From the east came a third, holding a spiked club. And finally, from the west, a rider who wielded a great hammer of war. With them came their soldiers of death, followed by an army of immortals. They were few in number, but the look in their eyes told all who beheld them that they would leave this day only in victory or death. And there was a great silence. My heart began to pound. Storm clouds filled the sky with darkness. Rain came. War winds blew with such anger that I held a second wind. And once the four riders raised their weapons into the air.
It is metal, and it's quite interesting song. And at the end there is a prayer, and it was so interesting because as you spoke about the drums of war, this came immediately to my mind. I will share it in the recording because it is so interesting, and I think this can be the destruction. So similar because we have the songs. Today died Ozzy Osbourne, so everybody knows Ozzy Osbourne. Everybody was sorry about him, but everybody knows it will come because drugs, alcohol, everything. But still, the man. I think that even if the artist and musicians get together, as you remember, there was time when I think it was even Michael Jackson there and so on. It was for freedom and huge concerts, which really changed in some way the society. So maybe it's time to invite these people to Wasteless World to support it.
And
it's a great idea.
Yeah. I was reading a newspaper article from the 1920s, and it was a political commentary about something, and it was saying that if you listen to what people are talking about, then you can begin to understand what they really mean. So hungry people talk about food. And it went on to explain that politicians talk about democracy and peace in exactly the same way. And it's true 100 years later, it is still the same. The more our politicians talk now about democracy and peace, like the hungry men talking about food, they don't mean it at all. They don't have it, they don't want it, they want the exact opposite.
For me, the role model of politician is not to take decision, but to make politics. Because if they take decision, not speaking about applying, then it will be clearly visible we don't need the politicians. So this is why the role model is very different. This is why I advise everyone who try to see or who is trying to reflect to something, firstly, check or try to find out what is the role model, what is the core business, sorry, not the role model, the core business of politician. So what is the core business of the person or of the company? It clearly indicates, as you said,
to get reelected.
Exactly. Not to find a solution. And I know, Abel, you don't like, and me neither, and Kevin neither probably, Elon Musk. But I had yesterday in the morning, I was going to factory to load a truck, and I find one piece of post by Elon, and he says, there was a group of people standing on the bottom of this huge black rocket, which he has. And the comment there or the post was, we have created the biggest flying object in universe. And I have to comment it. I said, Elon, I'm not sure. I have heard about something called Earth, Moon, and similar, and that was quite interesting. So he never replied, of course, and I don't expect that he will. But it was interesting. So, and what is interesting, even coming to drums, is the fact that I do believe, as he wrote it, he mean it. How these people completely lose the ability to see the reality. And when they will repeat war and war and war again, they don't see any other option. So this is why we have to get rid of those people. Rid of those drums who, it doesn't matter what we say, if we get paid, we say everything.
I'm still thinking, what is the opposite of drum?
Kevin, say that again, please.
I'm still thinking what the opposite of drum is. And maybe it is the human voice. Still, the most powerful concert I've ever been to was a requiem. It was a Mozart requiem. And when you hear how beautiful a voice can be, it can drown out any drum.
I'm remembering back to the anti-war movement in America in the late 1960s, and how rock music was the symbol of the anti-war movement. People were drawn together for this new type of music. It was disrespectful. It questioned authority, but it was the music. And the music, like the drums, can unite people. And in the course of just a few years, 4 years, maybe, enough people were united by the music that the Giants had to stop the war.
Yeah. Actually, interesting. What you're saying, Bill, is that harmony is the opposite of drum.
That's good.
But I will say that the drums can be the harmony itself.
They don't have a tune, they have a beat.
Okay. I do understand what you mean. It's like having the heart without the rest.
Yeah.
It will be working, but not for a long time because it will lose. I will even maybe say that it can be the meaning. Drums is the beat. As I just the quote from Carl Gustav Jung came to my mind. The man cannot live meaningless life, and the beat can be just a beat. It has no meaning. It has just a rhythm. It's gives
Right.
the rhythm, but missing.
And it can be dangerous.
Yes.
Because it hypnotizes, and it stops the thinking, because it hypnotizes you to go wherever the drums are going, wherever the Giants who are playing the drums are beating the drums. That's dangerous to stop thinking. In fact, that's one thing that we've said time and time again, is we need to teach our children critical thinking. And some nations are doing that now. But the drums are not critical reasoning. They are the opposite.
Yeah, they're regimentation. They just regiment it. And once you're regimented, you don't think. You don't need to think.
You know, we have in Czech, we play a lot of with letter Y and with letter I. So it can be exactly the same word, like beat, B-Y-T, which mean to be. But if you write a B-I-T, it means to beat someone. So just you switch one letter in the middle. It's again, for us, it's E. We say both E or Epsilon, but you get completely different meaning. And the drums is beating, but it's not being. And I think that's exactly what you are describing. That's interesting. So interesting. I really would like to share this today's Wasteless War Talks with some musicians and so on, to see. I don't know. Did you notice the changes on social media and so on? Generally, I feel that AI is taking over. Really, they are cutting out human content. They are switching it for content which it's, let's say, ordered by someone. They are reducing, changing the algorithm, doing a lot of things very differently, including LinkedIn. So I'm looking forward what will be at the next. The medium for me is the biggest issue at the moment, but I hope that YouTube will stay and we will be able to stream this after recording and share with the others.
And going forward, if you can, if we together can make some emphasis on musicians and to see if I don't know who in 1967 or 68 came up with the idea to write anti-war songs or love and peace songs. Who came up with that idea? Or was it just like a grass fire started in a number of different places at the same time? But how do we start that grass fire here?
And it has to be now. I mean, there's no time to waste. In Europe, there are no anti-war movements. They've vanished.
That's true. It's generally all the concerts are for the war in Ukraine. It's not for the peace in Ukraine. Even the term peace somehow disappeared. We are talking just about war.
Yeah.
And war is the biggest waste of anything
Yes.
in this world.
Yes, that's true. And we have 2 minutes left, 2.5, something like that. So it is, again, so interesting discussion. And the part is we have to act now. There is no time to waste the time.
Yeah.
Because once wasted, it can never be recovered. So it's really need to act now and face the giants with no fear, because if the humans grow, the giants shrink. That's the fact. And they know it. They push more and more. They try to switch off the other people and so on. But there are few giants and there are 8 billion people.
I would be in favor of continuing this conversation at a future Wednesday.
Okay. So let's do it. It's time to change even the way how we are working. It will be very interesting because for me, it will be interesting how we will approach it, because we will have 1 week time to think about, and let's do it. Okay, thanks for this proposal. We are at the end. I would like to thank you, Bill and Kevin, for, again, great time we spent together on the back of language, and have a nice time. Free of wasting, in all its forms. Stay safe, be free, be human, and be the drum which changed the world to wasteless world. Thanks a lot and see you next week. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.